Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Friday Night Smackdown. We are kicking us off with the new Undisputed Champion, the man that turned his back on all of WWE, selling his soul to The Rock. That man is the Undisputed Champion, John Cena. John Cena is your new champion, defeating Braun Breaker due to the help and the interference from Team Raw and the invasion of Team Raw. Situation: Stone Cold taking out John Cena after coming face to face with John Cena. And then out from the crowd we would see Gunther laying out Braun Breaker, allowing John Cena to pick up the scraps. Come to find out on Monday Night Raw, there was a little bit of tension there between Stone Cold and Gunther because Stone Cold told Gunther to do something else. It wasn't part of the plans. But, well, we all saw what happened, and we have ourselves a new Undisputed Champion, and John Cena would then go on to Monday Night Raw, attack Seth frickin' Rollins, leaving him in his, putting him in his place. So now we're going to see these two go at it, champion versus champion at Survivor Series. You all saw it on Monday night. I dropped your golden boy, Seth Rollins, on his neck, but I wasn't the only one to get involved in that matchup. I'd like to thank Bronson Reed as well as Kevin Owens for putting down Seth and making sure he's nowhere close to 100% for Survivor Series. The thing is, I didn't do it for the shock. I didn't do it for the attention. I did it because Seth Rollins forgot who the hell he's going to be standing across from. For the last few years, I've been treated like a legacy act. Make-A-Wish Cena, Hollywood John Cena, the guy who waves, smiles, and fades into the background. But I'm done playing that part. Because while Seth Rollins is out here playing dress-up, playing rock star champion, I was watching. I was watching him parade around with my spot, my spotlight, and a title that was created to fill the void I left behind. And Monday night, I reminded him exactly why there's still only one name that puts fear in the heart of this entire industry. Seth, you're walking into Survivor Series with a world title. I'm walking in with 20 years of receipts. And when the bell rings, I'm not fighting for a trophy or some legacy. I'm fighting because I'm sick of this soft corporate era trying to erase what real dominance looks like. At Survivor Series, I won't just beat Seth Rollins, I'm going to break him. And when I do, no catchy nickname, no catchy flashy jacket, no song in the world is going to put him back together. This business was built on my back, and now it's going to die on my terms. I don't need to beat Seth Rollins to prove I'm the best. I need to beat Seth Rollins to remind the world that I'm still the standard of professional wrestling. I'll see you at Survivor Series next week, Seth, even if you're not 100%. John, I've been in this business for a very long time, and I've been in this business long enough to recognize when a man has snapped. And after what you did to Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw, there's no doubt in anyone's mind you've crossed that line. And this honestly feels like this is about you trying to rewrite history one cheap shot at a time. But let me remind you of something, John. This isn't your ring anymore. You may be a legend, but you don't run this show. And here on Smackdown, I don't care how many world titles you won, how many main events you've headlined. I will not let you ruin this match at Survivor Series and have it descend into chaos. So here's what I'm going to do. You and Seth Rollins will settle this like professionals in the ring, like it's supposed to be at Survivor Series, under control. No more sneak attacks, no more backstage beatdowns. Because if you lay another finger on Seth Rollins before Survivor Series, I'll pull the plug on the match entirely. You're going to pull the match? You think I care about the contract, about the build, about the brand? No, Nick. I care about one thing, finishing what I started. But don't worry, I'll wait. Survivor Series, that's fine. Just know, when the bell rings, you won't be looking at an icon. You'll be looking at a man who's done waiting for permission. And I don't understand the big fuss. It's not like I asked for Stone Cold Steve Austin to attack me last week. And it's not like I ordered Gunther from Monday Night Raw to stop listening to Stone Cold Steve Austin and come out and beat down Braun Breaker. I didn't ask for that. That just happened. So you should enjoy me being your WWE champion. But that's fine. I'll wait that extra week. That's fine. But Seth, like I said, coming up next week, it's going to be a whole different ballgame. This is a whole different John Cena, and you will see it when you're looking at the lights after I drop you with an attitude adjustment and walk out with the 1, 2, 3. Believe me, John, we love having you, but this whole different attitude and how this different outlook on life you had, we don't respect it. You built this business on 25 years of hustle, loyalty, and respect, but now it's hustle, loyalty, and disrespect to every single one of these people, of these fans, and everyone on this roster. Now, as John Cena leaves the ring, ladies and gentlemen, there's some stuff I want to address, because we got some big stuff coming up for this SmackDown, Raw coming up, and SmackDown, and it pertains to myself, the SmackDown General Manager, as well as the Raw General Manager, William Regal. In just over 1 week's time, the WWE will once again be divided down the middle as Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown collide at Survivor Series. And as you all know, I don't take kindly to SmackDown being looked at as anything as the premier brand in this industry. So earlier this week, myself and Raw General Manager William Regal got on a call, a very civil call, and we both agreed that the final shot before Survivor Series, it won't be a press conference, won't be a handshake, it's going to be a war between the brands. Next week on the go-home shows of both Raw and SmackDown, we will feature interpromotional Raw vs. SmackDown matches. Matches that you will be seeing will be from the Raw and SmackDown War Games matches, as well as the traditional matches. You'll see some singles matches, and you may even see some tag team matches, just to get yourselves a little taste of what you're going to get the main course of Survivor Series. And to just let you know, the matches that will be happening on Monday Night Raw, that Raw versus SmackDown side of things, here's 3 big-time matches. There may be even more, but right now we're going to have CM Punk take on the Viper, Randy Orton. We're going to have Gunther taking on Braun Breaker, as well as we're going to have Charlotte Flair taking on Io Sky, plus much more there on Monday Night Raw. Plus, I can make it official what is going to be looking like for next week's SmackDown. And it is going to be a massive go-home show, because it will be Seth frickin' Rollins and Roman Reigns teaming up to take on John Cena and the final boss, The Rock. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see Drew McIntyre from NXT taking on Kevin Owens from Monday Night Raw. We're going to see a tag team match, Becky Lynch and Io Sky taking on Zoe Stark and Natalya, as well as another big-time matchup, first ever matchup we're going to see here, Aleister Black versus Uncle Howdy. And then we're still up in the card, ladies and gentlemen, because it will be the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, battling the Texas Rattlesnake, the team captain versus team captain. It will be Cody Rhodes versus Stone Cold Steve Austin as well, on a very stacked card next week on SmackDown. Now, I think we've done too much talking. Now the fighting needs to start. Let's officially start this episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Well, certainly nice to have Nick Aldis out here trying to calm down John Cena and his new ways of how he runs things, but certainly it will be a new era here on SmackDown, as John Cena is the new Undisputed Champion, And we're going to switch gears as it is time to continue the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. As we got the Kubuki Warriors, we got Kairi Sane, we got Asuka making their way down to the ring. And so far for SmackDown, we got Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Nikki Cross is the Women's Champion here on Friday Night SmackDown. Won last week against Michelle McCool and Eve Torres. This week here on SmackDown, we're going to have the Judgment Day taking on the Kubuki Warriors. The winner of this matchup next week will go on to face off with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in the finals of the SmackDown side of things. And then for Monday Night Raw, we're going to see Trish and Lita versus Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley. The winner of that matchup will face the winner of obviously the SmackDown finals on the lovely card known as Survivor Series. We're going to have ourselves some new champions. Division has a lot of great women's tag team wrestlers, and we're going to put it on display, and we are going to open it up here tonight as here comes the Judgment Day. Last year on this time, the Judgment Day, they were figuring stuff out. They were getting stuff going. But certainly, the ups and downs of the Judgment Day have not been able to have them all hold champions. I mean, they've been very close at times, but have not been able to do so yet. But hey, there's plenty. I feel like I keep saying there's plenty of time still left in the table for them, especially this new look Judgment Day. Losing Rhea Ripley, losing Damian Priest, and then now you're adding the likes of a Raquel Rodriguez, a Liv Morgan, even Carlito is in on the shenanigans here in the Judgment Day. So a lot of stuff going on for sure. There is a former women's Intercontinental Champion, Raquel Rodriguez. She defeated Asuka at one time to become the Women's Intercontinental Champion before losing it to Rhea Ripley later on. Rhea Ripley is your current Intercontinental Champion, and she will be in action later on tonight, taking on Ivy Nile of American Made. As now here comes the other side of the Judgment Day. We just saw Raquel Rodriguez make her way down to the ring, and now we're going to see the other members of Judgment Day make their presence known. And there it is, Dominic Mysterio coming out here with Liv Morgan. Dirty Dom switching up his ladies, no longer with Rhea Ripley, obviously throwing her out the gate, replacing her with Liv Morgan, and we'll see how this is going to fare. I mean, for Dominic, he ever since joining up with the Judgment Day, I wouldn't say he's had opportunities, but he hasn't been a champion just yet. Liv Morgan, same for her. She has not been a singles champion here. She's won tag team championships, especially with Raquel Rodriguez, but now it's a whole different ballgame. And I feel like there's a different dynamic between Dominic and Liv Morgan. I don't feel like you were seeing this type of stuff with Rhea Ripley. Maybe that's what Dom wanted, to change up his career here. Somebody that's willing to show relationship emotions, I guess. I don't know. You never know when a group like this, how deadly they can be and how they like to change things on the fly. But now we're going to see a tag team matchup here. Who is going to the finals next week to take on Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross of the Wyatt Six? We're about to find out as we got Kairi Sane and Raquel Rodriguez kicking us off here. Referee ringing the bell here. Here we go. So Raquel tosses Kairi Sane in the ring. We already got ourselves a tag within the first 10 seconds of the matchup starting. And now Liv Morgan with the roll-up here. Could you imagine if this is how the matchup ends? But no, Kairi Sane is not going to be down and out, at least not yet. But ladies and gentlemen, we do have a great night of professional wrestling here on Friday Night SmackDown. It sounds like it's even going to be even better next week. But this week on Friday Night SmackDown, we've added a matchup from already the announced matches. We're going to see Damian Priest in action. He'll be taking on Carlito later on tonight, as well as Rhea Ripley, your Women's Intercontinental Champion. She'll be in action against Ivy Nile in a non-title matchup. as well as two newcomers here on the Smackdown brand. We are going to see Rey Fenix, the brother of Penta, make his Smackdown debut against another man that's making another Smackdown debut is JC Mateo. Plus, in your main event tonight, Finn Balor versus Ilja Dragunov, the European Champion, in the main event of Friday Night SmackDown. This matchup is not for the European Championship, but this is going to be a highly touted matchup, especially just a week away from Survivor Series. As now we know, double arm drag takedown, takes down Liv Morgan, even a kick to just put the cherry on top of the sundae, as here comes the muscle of the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez. So, oh goodness, what a clothesline. This is an absolutely brutal clothesline. She really put all that effort into that clothesline, because she just knocked, you can see the sweat come off. As now Raquel with a big elbow right across the head. And imagine taking an elbow strike right across the dome like that. As now Raquel just continuing to bring the assault to Kairi Sane. And we do get the tag, but you know, if I'm Raquel, I continue to just beat down Kairi Sane, the muscle. You're going to be the big X factor in this matchup. As now Kairi Sane off the ropes here. Ooh, brutal forearm strike right across the chin area, maybe even the chest area of Liv Morgan. And now here comes the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Oh goodness, a stunner right on the apron. Down she goes. And now Asuka gonna turn her options now over to Raquel Rodriguez and take out the trash. And now we got ourselves a situation. All members of the Judgment Day, except for Dominic Mysterio, taken out of the situation. And now Dom's like, "Hey, why aren't you coming after me, Asuka?" And if I'm Dom, I don't say anything to Asuka, because certainly one kick to the head and I'm out. I'm out for a couple weeks. But now Asuka sees Raquel up. Now Liv Morgan trying to go for a sneak attack on her, but not gonna happen. Oh goodness, Liv Morgan getting her head bounced off of that apron. But, ladies and gentlemen, like we mentioned, Survivor Series is a big-time card for you from top to bottom, man. Like we said, it is going to be a great night of pro wrestling. We'll kind of go down the card here. Obviously, we're going to have the Women's Tag Team Championships on the line. We'll see that crowned. But going up and down the card, I mean, certainly there's a lot of great matches and, you know, stuff that certainly, if you don't like one match, you know, certainly there's another match that could definitely, I would say, take your creativeness, take your psyche down a different way. So you got the Bloodline versus the New Bloodline matchup. You're gonna see the OG Bloodline versus this New Bloodline. The Rock, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, and Tonga Loa, the New Bloodline, taking on the OG Bloodline. You're going to see the Usos, Roman Reigns, and honorary Us, Sami Zayn, in that 4-on-4 War Game structure. I cannot believe what that matchup is going to look like, man. It is going to be absolute carnage. And talking about carnage, we're going to see a 4-on-4 War Games matchup between the Judgment Day and then the team of, it is going to be Damian Priest, Ilja Dragunov, the European Champion, Penta, and Carmelo Hayes. A 4-on-4 War Games matchup. That matchup is going to be bonkers as well. And certainly they're going to have to reinforce that match with just how brutal. Guys are going to be jumping off the cage. They're going to look to put each other through tables. They're going to try and put each other through the absolute steel if they have to, that is surrounding those. As well as we got some champion versus champion matches. We got the Dudley Boys, who are the World Tag Team Champions, is holding on to that. Kairi Sane looking to steal one, but Raquel Rodriguez able to get out of that. But like I was trying to say, we're going to have the Dudley Boys, the World Tag Team Champions. They'll be taking on the Creed Brothers, the WWE Tag Team Champions here on SmackDown. It's Kairi Sane into the corner with that sliding elbow basement strike. And now Kairi Sane not done. Gonna go for the infamous insane elbow, maybe? No? Gonna tell her to get up to her feet. Kairi Sane with a flying crossbody. I'm surprised she didn't just go for the insane elbow, but deciding not to do that. And now I'm going to toss her into the corner. Going to allow maybe Asuka to pick up the final pieces here, possibly. As Now Asuka. Oh, wait, Asuka's going to get the opportunity to drop the elbow. Asuka's obviously not the one that normally hits that, but it seems like it is Asuka's turn to hit it. But Liv Morgan right there to break it up as the matchup continues. Plus, for the Raw vs. SmackDown Champion vs. Champion matches, for Monday Night Raw, you have the United States Champion L.A. Knight. Yeah. Takes on their Intercontinental Champion from SmackDown. That is the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Plus, you're going to get John Cena, the new Undisputed Champion, taking on Seth frickin' Rollins, the World Champion, on Monday Night Raw. Plus, you're going to have a Raw vs. SmackDown Women's Raw vs. SmackDown traditional matchup. But there's been talk about maybe moving this inside of a War Game structure as well, as you're going to have Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Natalya, and Zoe Stark from Raw, taking on the team of Nikki Cross, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Becky Lynch. That certainly is going to be a big-time matchup there. Plus, the men's traditional side, you're going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin, Randy Orton, Gunther, and Aleister Black taking on the team of Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Braun Breaker, and Uncle Howdy. And hold on to this as Asuka with the hip attack right to the dome, taking out Liv Morgan, and now Asuka not going to go for the pinfall. I think she wants to make her submit. Asuka has her in a bad predicament, but Raquel Rodriguez right there to break it up, because it was right there in the corner as a code breaker out of nowhere from Liv. And Liv not done yet. Instead of going for the pinfall, it seemed like Asuka was knocked out there. And no, almost a different variation of Oblivion there from Liv Morgan. Is that enough? One. Oh, Karzane breaks it up. The matchup will continue. What a tag team matchup this has been. Everyone wants to go to the finals. They want to become the new women's tag team champions. And certainly for the Judgment Day, that's what they want. They believe this could honestly be that step one for them. And now Raquel off the ropes. Ooh, basement drop kick right to the temple of Asuka, taking her out. And also there's, oh wait a minute, Raquel. Oh goodness, this ain't gonna end well. Oh my goodness. We've seen that a lot lately from Raquel Rodriguez when she's been inside this ring, and it has been absolutely brutal to turn your opponent inside out like that. Is now Raquel gonna go from the second rope. This is pretty far away from Raquel, but she's able to connect, use that to her advantage, and lay out Asuka. And now Liv Morgan gonna look to pick up the scraps and take out Asuka and advance to the finals of next week's SmackDown side of things. The flying X handle right there. We'll see if that be enough to put away Asuka. Pinfall opportunity. 2. No, Asuka kicks out. 2.5. And now this is where the Judgment Day, they cannot get rattled right now. They have to stay on Asuka. Asuka was the very first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion. Obviously, Asuka and Raquel Rodriguez have history. Raquel Rodriguez was doing anything in her power to put down Asuka, and after a grueling matchup, Raquel Rodriguez picks up the win and puts down Asuka in a very competitive back and forth matchup. So next week here on SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen, it will be Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss taking on the Judgment Day in the SmackDown finals. So certainly we're going to have massive tag team matches this upcoming week on Raw and SmackDown to see who will be going to Survivor Series to represent Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown in the prospective Women's Tag Team Championships. What a back and forth match. It was a hard-hitting matchup for sure. But ultimately, you can only have one winner and one loser. And today, it is going to the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan would connect here with a brutal Oblivion there, taking her out. Eventually leaving Raquel Rodriguez to picking up the scraps and putting away Asuka. Like we said, there is a rivalry that still is rekindled between Raquel and Asuka there, but much as I hate to say it, the Judgment Day, they advance. They're going to the finals next week. We'll see if they will be heading to Survivor Series. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, it is a non-title matchup as here comes Ivy Nile of American Made making her way down to the ring. Big time moment for Ivy Nile. I believe it's a time to step up, especially against one of the better women in all of WWE, and that being the Eradicator, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is the Intercontinental Champion. She is going to be a part of that 4 versus 4 Raw versus Smackdown matchup coming up at Survivor Series. As of right now, it is a traditional matchup, but it seems like the ladies really want it inside of a War Game structure. We'll see what the final approval is going to be on that. We'll see what Triple H wants to have that matchup in for sure. I'm sure he doesn't mind, but we'll see how that goes. But obviously, Rhea Ripley is focused on Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile has had her opportunities here and there, but I think honestly, this is a big-time moment for this young lady to take on Rhea Ripley, who has won multiple championships here, and now even being the Women's Intercontinental Champion. And that championship gold looks great in Rhea Ripley's hand there. It's certainly going to be very curious to see after Survivor Series where that Intercontinental Championship will be taken down. Like what row? Who is stepping up to the plate? Is this whole thing with the Judgment Day still going to go on? Certainly Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, obviously they're not going to forget what happened with the Judgment Day kicking them out. So is Survivor Series essentially the end, especially on the Damian Priest side of things? Are they ready to move on, or do they still want revenge? Obviously Bad Blood, we saw some big time matches that Bad Blood come together, no point intended there. But certainly this is going to be a great matchup, I believe. Not just this matchup, but at War Games. A lot of proving points for a lot of those men and women for Survivor Series, and especially right after Survivor Series, ladies and gentlemen, we are right into the Royal Rumble where people's careers can change for the better. And certainly you get a guaranteed spot to main event WrestleMania. The women will main event one night. The men will main event the other night. So Rhea Ripley, hey, she could be Intercontinental Champion, go on to the Royal Rumble, walk out the winner, and then she could go all the way to WrestleMania possibly holding both titles. You just never know. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but here we go. Ivy Nile, Rhea Ripley, non-title match. Matchup is officially underway. Let's see how this matchup fares. And oh, look at this. Ivy Nile coming right out of the gate, trying to submit Rhea Ripley. I think that's a very ballsy maneuver to try and come out the gate and try and tap her out. But hey, I believe Ivy Nile, very technically sound wrestler. Obviously, she's learning from the Creed brothers and obviously the leader of American Made, Chad Gable. Chad Gable has been so close to winning the Intercontinental Championship. He's just fallen up a bit short, unfortunately for himself, especially in the gauntlet matches, trying to crown a new Intercontinental Champion. So it's just one of those things where Gable, he's continuing to get there, but he just has not been able to get to where he wants. And he had a one-on-one contest with Sheamus recently, with Sheamus walking out victorious. So I mean, you got to think that Chad Gable one of these days is going to be able to pull through and become Intercontinental Champion or European Champion, or hey, winning the big one. Does he win the Undisputed Championship one day? And look at Ivy Nile with those kicks and strikes, and just bringing down Rhea Ripley. And Ivy Nile's fired up, as she should be. That's a big time thing. Send a message to Rhea Ripley here. Look at Ivy Nile stretching out. Ooh, Rhea Ripley. And I think Rhea may be busted open. Don't get the best view. Oh, yep, it is. Definitely right above that right eye. But I'm sure Rhea Ripley loves to fight through the pain, and even it just adds more to her, especially having busted open. It looks, yep, right above that right eye area. And hopefully for Rhea Ripley's sake, it won't affect this matchup. The blood won't go down in the eye to make it blurry, because obviously you don't want something like that to get in your eye. It's going to play with your vision, and it could honestly make things worse. But right now, it seems like Rhea Ripley, it's making her go to another level. It is awakening Rhea Ripley, the Women's Intercontinental Champion. As Rhea Ripley, tossing Ivy Nile right against that barricade, and big old haymakers from Rhea Ripley. Look at those. We have a perfect camera view of it as Rhea Ripley tosses Ivy Nile down to the other side of the ring here. Ivy Nile's got to figure out something quickly. Rhea Ripley's got that momentum heading her way as she tosses her right up against that announce table. Rhea Ripley talking her trash right now. Seems like she's very confident. And certainly, Rhea Ripley, she's going to be in for a hell of a weekend for Survivor Series, especially, like we said, oh my goodness. Didn't get all of it, but it was enough to take out Ivy Nile. But that team that Rhea Ripley has with Nikki Cross herself, Io Sky, and Becky Lynch, that is a star-studded team. Wait a minute. Michin making her way. That's her music. What does Michin have in store? This is surprising. I mean, Michin trying to send a message here? Maybe does she want a chance at the Intercontinental title? I don't know what's going on. Ivy Nile may make Rhea Ripley tap out here. Look at this. Look at the submission hold here. But Ivy Nile having to let go of it. Rhea Ripley looks like she's down and out right now. Ivy Nile could be picking up the scraps here, possibly. And don't look at Rhea Ripley. I don't know if she's playing possum there. She just woke up, though. And now Rhea, tosses her up in the air. Bad landing for Ivy Nile. We'll see if this is enough. 2. Be good 2? No, just a 1 count. Very close to a 2. But Rhea Ripley going to have to pick out some big maneuvers. Look for that riptide. Look for, I don't know, more. She's known for her submission, but hey, that's almost 3/4 away from the ring, and she's hitting that like she's a freaking lucha libre superstar. High risk maneuver, the elbow across the ring. Rhea Ripley walks out victorious. Look at this. She doesn't get all of it, but it was almost like hitting a leg drop from that. Throws her up in the air, working that midsection. Wasn't enough at that point, but look at this. This is a little bit more than halfway across the ring. Look at this. Rhea Ripley, bam, elbow across the chest. Didn't need the riptide. Didn't need the one submission hold that she pops out from time to time. Rhea Ripley victorious here tonight despite a little bit of a distraction. Michin's music playing. I wonder if that may be a sign of who may be coming after the Women's Intercontinental Championship. What a night of professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Rhea Ripley pulling out a massive maneuver. And wait a minute, Charlotte Flair from Team Raw, she is here, and she is here. She's just taken out Rhea Ripley, the Women's Intercontinental Champion. She's out here sending a message. And it seems like the invasion is continuing for the Raw side of things. Taking out Rhea Ripley, ladies and gentlemen. And it seems like this is a premeditated assault, and now Charlotte Flair with a big frog splash just for good measure. And now I don't think for Charlotte that's probably the best idea to piss off a Rhea Ripley, but as you can see, Charlotte Flair out of here as Charlotte takes out the Women's Intercontinental Champion just a week away before that big time Survivor Series match. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we get ourselves a little taste of what's coming our way live there at Survivor Series. Damian Priest, he is in action. He'll be taking on Carlito of the Judgment Day. I'm not really sure how Carlito fits into this new version of the Judgment Day, but hey, we're going to be finding out how exactly that's going to turn out. But Damian Priest looking to tear down anyone in his way, and if it happens to be anyone from the Judgment Day building up to this Survivor Series matchup, Damian Priest plans on laying down the law. Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley obviously shockingly being taken out of the Judgment Day, being replaced with Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and even Carlito. New version, a new outlook on the Judgment Day's life here. Well, the question is, like I brought up with the Rhea Ripley matchup, is Survivor Series the end of this rivalry as we know it, or will it continue? Obviously, the War Games, that's a matchup that certainly puts a nail in a lot of rivalries. It comes to a lot of rivalries, but I feel like there's more possibly to this rivalry that can be explored. But maybe, just maybe, they move on after Survivor Series. We'll see. But now, here comes the Judgment Day. You're going to see Carlito making his way down to the ring. Big time matchup here live on Smackdown. Got a couple more big time matches. And oh, Carlito not coming out by himself. He's bringing out the whole Judgment Day. You got Liv. You got Dom. You got JD McDonough. You got Finn Balor. And obviously Carlito making his way down to this very ring. And this won't be the last time we see at least one of these men and women down to this ring, as Finn Balor is in your main event of the evening, as Finn Balor takes on Ilja Dragunov in a non-title matchup in the main event of SmackDown. Finn Balor, you know, when this group first started, they said that, hey, there's no leaders, it's just a group of men and women that are, you know, obviously looking to better themselves and get wins by any means possible. But when you start feeling that Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley starts getting, I would say, becoming more than the group, that's what Finn Balor believed it was time for a change. And we saw it when Edge was part of that group back in the day. They got rid of Edge. They exterminated Edge. And then, obviously now, you see Finn Balor choosing that they are getting rid of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And obviously Dirty Dom has himself a new love interest with Liv Morgan, a new lover. I don't know how that relationship really was with Rhea Ripley. And then obviously adding Raquel Rodriguez. And then you're also adding Carlito. You know, it's a different outlook for sure. And we'll see, like we said, if it's going to mount up to anything. But now, here we go. Damian Priest versus Carlito. Big time matchup, as it looks like Finn Balor, as referee rings the bell, looks like Finn Balor is going to be at least staying out here. Looks like maybe the rest of the Judgment Day might be just lurking in the shadows. We'll see how that fares. So at least Priest won't have to worry about all five. One in the ring and then four at the outside there. Look at Carlito bringing that wrist lock here, trying to work on that shoulder as well, trying to take it out of place. And Damian Priest is like, hey, if you want to do this, we can work some holds here. Obviously, Carlito, a veteran in this business, brings a lot to this, but certainly, you know, Damian Priest, he's that new blood, that new era that you're seeing with Damian Priest. So certainly, Priest has something to prove. He doesn't believe that, you know, he was kicked out for any good reasons. I believe it's all jealousy from Finn Balor and company. And when stuff gets hard, he believes that Finn Balor decides to take the cheap way out of it. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you can't forget about one of the biggest additions to the group now is AJ Styles, a part of the Judgment Day. He'll be a part of that 4 versus 4 matchup, because Finn Balor defeated AJ Styles to have AJ Styles join the Judgment Day group, because there was a stipulation to it, because if Finn Balor lost, he would have had to leave the Judgment Day. So certainly, you know, a lot of stuff was going into that matchup, but AJ Styles being a part of the Judgment Day adds a lot of different wrinkles, a part of the group as well. Now Damian Priest, is he setting up a possible choke slam to Carlito? Collar elbow tie up, gonna toss Carlito off the ropes, and a big jumping elbow strike takes down the apple spitter Carlito. And he probably doesn't think that was very cool. Now what is Damian Priest setting up here? Uh-oh. From behind, Carlito is up. And Carlito's down. Oh. Probably not the biggest maneuver of all time, but hey, it's highly effective, it seems, as now Damian Priest wants Carlito up to his feet. Priest looking to send a message to Finn Balor, who is at ringside here. Priest, oh no, that's off the top turnbuckle, spinning heel kick, misses wildly, and now Carlito may be able to make him pay, and he does with that springboard drop kick. That might be enough, honestly. 2, but that was close. 2.5. And now Carlito feeling pretty good about himself. Could you imagine Damian Priest picking up a big loss before the big time matchup that we're going to be seeing? Oh, Carlito, come on. Taking off the top turnbuckle, doesn't even need Finn Balor. At least the referee did it within like a split second or two, didn't let it sit there. But Finn Balor gonna look, I think he's doing the other turnbuckle. I can't see it. I could see a shadow on the apron, but I couldn't see what else. And you know, there you go. You can see it on your bottom right hand corner there, ladies and gentlemen. Finn Balor exposing that top turnbuckle. And obviously you're probably thinking, well, are you sure it was him? Well, I saw a shadow. It doesn't necessarily mean it was Finn Balor, but well, he's the only one at ringside. So unless Casper the White Ghost came through there and floated his way to take that top turnbuckle off, I would assume it was Finn Balor. Carlito going for a kick to the midsection, and Damian Priest looking to punish Carlito here with the hook of the leg pinfall. Ooh, just a 1 count. Back and forth, very competitive matchup so far. Carlito has had that momentum briefly here. No. Uh-oh, the straps are coming down. Damian Priest meaning business. Look at that big cut there. And look at that flatliner. Takes down Carlito. And Damian Priest looking right at Finn Balor. And now Damian Priest looking into this matchup. Carlito using his big head. And now, oh no, is he going to do it on the kendo stick? Backstabber there. Pinfall, referee is right there. 2. No, Priest kicks out. What a variation of a backstabber there, ladies and gentlemen. That was a big time maneuver. As referee now getting that kendo stick out of place there. Good, very good competitive matchup. And no, come on. Carlito just eye raking the face there. Obviously the eyes of Damian Priest. And obviously it's within the rules. There's a 5-second rule, as well as, you know, in the discretion of the referee. And now Carlito, high risk, high reward. Damian Priest in a bad way. He's really holding his chest there. I think he's having some torso issues. There's no goodness, a flying shoulder tackle. That very well could be enough to put away Mr. Priest, but it is not. Damian Priest still fighting. Another pinfall opportunity. Carlito trying to. Feel like he might be getting a little desperate right now. A little frustration. Believes that should be enough to put away Damian Priest. And now Carlito with a springboard missile dropkick did not go his way. Finn Balor again taking the top turnbuckle off. And now Damian Priest going to look to capitalize. Going to look to work the legs, the middle of that back maybe. And maybe work on that busted open face of Carlito. As again, the referee having to fix that top turnbuckle. He's probably going to get a little pissed off. It's probably the 3rd time in this matchup he's had to fix it. Carlito's done it once, and obviously Finn Balor doing it the other 2 times there. And look at those big haymakers from Damian Priest. What a haymaker. And Priest is all fired up, looking to put this matchup away. And now Priest looking to go high risk here. Flying crossbody. 2-for-1 specials. Lining them up like a bowling alley. Throwing that bowling ball right through Carlito and Finn Balor. It's been a highly competitive match. I love seeing those type of matches, man. It's not one-sided. You might think that Damian Priest might roll through Carlito, but no, Carlito, he's bringing that fight as a pinfall opportunity. 2. No, 2.5. Carlito keeping himself in it. And now Priest. Is he thinking about putting him away here? Looking for that razor's edge, I believe. Damian Priest, he has him in position. Razor's edge. Down goes Carlito. Pinfall. 2, 3. Damian Priest with a big time win. Just a week away from Survivor Series. That was a great matchup, I believe. A lot of back and forth. Very competitive. I think there's times in the matchup where both men kind of made a mistake and the other competitor was able to capitalize at times, but ultimately Damian Priest, the Punisher, putting away Carlito tonight. highly competitive match. And hopefully we get to see that backstabber maneuver right here. Yes, a bam, backstabber. And referee was in position. You can't tell the referee was taking too long. That was right on cue. He heard it going on the mat right here. That flying shoulder tackle looked like it was going to be enough. It wasn't enough. And then right here, Damian Priest could have stopped. He could have jumped down, but he said, heck no. This is a big time moment in this match. I've connected with that flying cross body. And Damian Priest had to continue to go to work. And right here, Damian Priest is like, I'm done. It's over. We're going to continue to put this match away. And Damian Priest has him up for the Razor's Edge. And down goes Carlito for the 1, 2, and 3. Big win for Damian Priest. It will be a 4 versus 4 War Games spectacular matchup coming your way live in just 1 week's time in Toronto, Canada. And now, ladies and gentlemen, up next is 2 Smackdown debuts. As you're going to see right there on your screen, Rey Fenix has officially joined the Smackdown roster, ladies and gentlemen. His brother Penta is on the Smackdown brand as well. And hey, maybe one day they come together. We know how on the independent scene they were one of the better tag teams in all of the independent scene. And we'll see if Rey Fenix and Penta will come together again. But now Rey Fenix takes on the big man JC Mateo, who has made a name for himself on the independent scene as being a monster. We'll see if how that's going to fare. Two different styles of professional wrestling, that lucha libre style, and then JC Mateo. From what I understand, he's a monster, but he can fly with the best of lucha libres if he needs to. But he's going to bring that power, that pound and ground game. And we're going to see him for the first time here in Universe Mode history. Rey Fenix, JC Mateo, live on your television screens. Live here tonight. And look at the big man right there with his singlet. He's looking to make an impact here tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. Nick Aldis on the signings of Rey Fenix and JC Mateo. He talked about Mateo, that Nick Aldis kind of knew already what JC Mateo was capable of, and watching more of it, he believed this was the perfect opportunity to bring JC Mateo in, and he believes that he can be a huge addition to this SmackDown roster. And talking about Rey Fenix as well, obviously, Nick Aldis brought up, hey, you could throw Rey Fenix in with his brother Penta in the tag team division, but he believes that Rey Fenix very well could do perfectly fine in singles action here on the main roster. So he believes that both men have plenty of potential, and we'll see how they both fare tonight in this SmackDown debut edition of SmackDown. There we go. Rey Fenix takes on JC Mateo. Referee ringing the bell. Here we go. Big kick to that left leg there, trying to stun JC Mateo. Collar elbow tie, a little feeling out process between both men. And I think that's what Mr. JC Mateo would want right now, to work the arm, slow down Rey Fenix. You don't want Rey Fenix to start flying around this ring. And I think that's like anything when you take on a lucha libre superstar that are very known for being crafty on, being able to use those ropes to their advantage. You gotta slow them down. You gotta take him to the mat, do some rest holds, do some headlocks, do some powerful maneuvers to slow them down. And right now, it's really a feeling out process between both men. As now look at Rey Fenix with those kicks. Ooh, and vicious super kick there as well. Rey Fenix feeling pretty good about himself here early on here. Oh my goodness, almost like a Rough Rider from behind, the variation of it off a springboard. I don't think I've ever seen that. Highly effective though from Rey Fenix. No. Oh, look at this submission hold here. JC Mateo's in trouble here. Unless Mateo can somehow grab that bottom rope. That and he is not going to be feeling too good as Mateo rolls out the ring. Rey Fenix is going to look to stay on him here. Oh, well, wait a minute. Fenix is looking to use the table to his advantage. I don't know if Rey Fenix is maybe looking to put him on through the table, just bounce him off the top of the table. I don't know, but if I'm him, I would not focus on doing that. But hey, if that's what you want to do, and that's what somebody's going to do, as JC Mateo bounces Rey Fenix's head right off that top of that announce table. And this, we're just mere moments away from a big main event. Finn Balor takes on Ilja Dragunov, non-title matchup. We did just witness Finn Balor being out here watching Damian Priest beat Carlito, as Rey Fenix with a nice standing moonsault takes down JC Mateo as well. But Mr. Nick Aldis, he was out here tonight after what John Cena said, and certainly the matches that we're going to have on Raw and SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, we are in for a treat as a code red there from Rey Fenix taking it to JC Mateo, and now Fenix frog splash halfway across the ring. He certainly got all of that. Pinfall 2. No, Mateo kicks out. And now spring forward from the top rope. What a springboard moonsault. Fenix is looking tremendous, ladies and gentlemen. JC Mateo's got to figure out something quickly, or this matchup may be mere moments away from being put away. So that super kick hitting right underneath the jaw there. And already from what I'm seeing from Mr. Rey Fenix here, ladies and gentlemen, certainly I think he can definitely bring a lot. I got to see more from JC Mateo right now. Has not been able to figure out Mr. Rey Fenix here. Is Fenix from the second rope. Frog splash. No, he missed it. He miscalculated it somehow. I don't know if his vision was off with his mask and everything, but certainly that may give JC Mateo a little bit time to recuperate. And that frog splash, it seems like it really got to Rey Fenix there, because he took him a little bit of time, and that is giving Mateo some time to get back in this matchup. Here we go, looking to use that comeback opportunity in this matchup, but nope. Oh, he's trying to get him up, but the big man just too much for Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix is going to do a lot more damage to try and put away a big man like JC Mateo. And now, what is JC Mateo? Gut wrench from the top rope. Gut wrench suplex halfway across the ring. Rey Fenix, despite being just thrown over there, he's trying to get out the way at least so that he couldn't go for the pinfall. But now, oh goodness, what a standing moonsault there. It was like a standing moonsault headbutt of sorts. But hey, Rey Fenix has given Mateo enough time to get himself back in this matchup, and that is a deadly thing to do. You cannot give a man like Mr. Mateo more opportunities, because he's going to use it to his advantage. An absolute monster is JC Mateo. He's back in the ring we go. JC Mateo gonna maybe signal the end is near. He's given Rey Fenix precious seconds to recuperate here. But he realizes he has to win this match inside this ring. Obviously, the countouts have been kind of taken away because a lot of people don't realize it. There will be random matches where they are countouts, but certainly not this one. As look at this sit-out powerbomb there from Mateo. But Rey Fenix trying to get out of that situation. He realizes he has to dig down deep now. And now, oh my goodness, okay, what a cutter. What a cutter there from Rey Fenix. I thought he was about to go powerbomb for powerbomb with Mateo, but deciding not to, and he decided to turn it into a variation of a cutter there. And now Fenix believes that's going to be enough to put him away, tosses him back in the ring, hook of the leg, 2, 3, yes it is. That almost like a pump-up cutter of sorts from Rey Fenix. Fenix almost costing him this matchup at times with that mishap earlier on, and gave Mateo some sign of life. But ultimately, Rey Fenix wins his SmackDown debut. That's the type of the match. It wasn't one-sided. It looked like it was gonna be, but JC Mateo was fighting and clawing and kept himself in this matchup. And that one mishap at ringside where Fenix was able to get right back up to his feet, made him pay. Look at this beautiful springboard moonsault from the top. And then this right here was absolutely devastating. But I think what helped out Rey Fenix is that adrenaline flowing through his body. He got hit with this gut wrench suplex, but it got to where he could roll to the side of the apron where eventually he would get clotheslined. Right here, look at this devastating cutter. I thought he was going to go for a pump-up power bomb of sorts, but nope. He hits him with a cutter, throws him back in the ring, and that was enough to become the winner. That's a great way, ladies and gentlemen, to kick off the career for Rey Fenix and even JC Mateo. Both men putting it all on the line, but ultimately one winner, one loser, and that winner tonight was Rey Fenix. It is main event time here live on Friday Night Smackdown, as it will be a non-title matchup as Finn Balor battles the European Champion Ilja Dragunov. And once again, you do see the rest of the Judgment Day making their way down the ring. You had Dominic Mysterio with Liv Morgan earlier on tonight as the Judgment Day advance. They will be in the SmackDown finals. You saw Carlito a little bit ago taking on Damian Priest in a one-on-one contest where Priest hits that razor's edge to put down Carlito right in front of Finn Balor. Finn Balor not choosing to try and, attack Damian Priest. Very well could have, but chose not to because he has this main event and he knows it is going to be an absolute brutal matchup. And obviously Finn Balor, he can bring everybody out, but they don't know who's honestly going to be staying out here with him. He could keep JD McDonough, he could keep Carlito, he could keep all of these men and women outside here if he really wanted to. Ultimately up to what Finn Balor wants to do. It's certainly Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, and their lovely relationship here, but certainly I think the Judgment Day, obviously they have their eyes set on gold. They want to finish up with this whole Damian Priest situation and Rhea Ripley and go from there. But we don't know what it looks like coming out of Survivor Series. Royal Rumble is going to be coming up very, very soon. And what is Royal Rumble going to look like? Who's going to be the champions heading in to that? I mean, obviously we could have title matches here and there. I mean, SmackDown's card next week is going to be absolutely massive from top to bottom. So I mean, certainly, as of right now, all the cards are set, but anything could change at any given moment. As now here comes Ilja Dragunov, and oh, look at this! Even Penta is coming out here to join Ilja Dragunov. Penta, one of the superstars that are joining Ilja Dragunov live there at Survivor Series. As you got Team Judgment Day taking on the team of Ilja Dragunov, Damian Priest, Penta, and Carmelo Hayes. The amount of talent in this matchup, it is stupendous, man. And the matchup is going to be, I believe, phenomenal. No point intended, because AJ Styles is a part of that match. And certainly, if you gotta believe Penta was smiling ear to ear, just in the terms of seeing his brother debut just moments ago, defeating JC Mateo in singles action. Obviously, you can't see it under a mask, but you definitely gotta believe he's happy to see his brother joining WWE, and especially having a tremendous debut matchup. But now we get to your main event. It is gonna be a hard-hitting matchup. Ilja Dragunov, your European champion, taking on Finn Balor. And Finn Balor, had a one-on-one contest recently here on SmackDown, taking on Penta And ultimately, Penta would walk out. Well, actually, that was against AJ Styles, pardon me. And Penta defeated AJ Styles. So certainly, this is the type of matchups you want to see, these big-time matches. Referee rings the bell, and it looks like JD McDonough's going to stay out here with Finn Balor. You have Ilja Dragunov and Penta here. Numbers game is right down the middle here. Hopefully Penta can counteract McDonough if he has to here. Oh, look at this. Come on. Come on, ref. I know he gets 5 seconds, but Jesus. Finn Balor has that control right now. That's what Finn Balor wants. He wants to systematically take out his opponent. But Ilja Dragunov is a whole different animal, ladies and gentlemen, as you should all know. The Mad Dragon, the crazy Russian. This man is... Oh, goodness. Finn Balor misses wildly there. But Ilja Dragunov, certainly one of the, I would say, not only strong, but one of those wrestlers that not only can he dish it out, but he can take it. He's like a wrestler like Gunther. Just two European guys that are willing to put everything on the line every single match. And, talking about SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen, there is 6 massive matches from top to bottom on next week's SmackDown. That is absolutely, it honestly would feel like a WrestleMania card, but this is a go-home show edition of SmackDown next week. It is going to be awesome. Your main event, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns taking on the team of John Cena and The Rock. You got Cody Rhodes taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. You got Aleister Black versus Uncle Howdy. You got Becky Lynch and Io Sky taking on Zoe Stark and Natalya. You have Drew McIntyre from NXT taking on Raw's Kevin Owens. There's a flying crossbody there from Ilja Dragunov. Also, we have the Women's SmackDown Finals, ladies and gentlemen. This will be Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They will be in action taking on the Judgment Day. Oh, nice maneuver there from Dragunov. These wrestlers know how dangerous those strikes are to the chest. So, oh, that flying, that torpedo headbutt of sorts, laying out Finn Balor. Is that enough? That caught Finn Balor off guard. That might be the knockout blow. 2. No, Finn Balor kicks out. Dragunov thought that was going to be it. He thought that was going to be his moment. And now Dragunov, ooh, vicious strike to the face. And now McDonough tossing in a kendo stick. I don't believe tossing in the kendo stick right now when your teammate is having issues right now is the best time to throw in a kendo stick. But hey, obviously that big head means he has a big brain. So certainly he has a lot to certainly think about. Let's look at Dragunov, these punches and chops. Another punch. And now, oh, look at that big time suplex. Oh, he's not done. Showing a little bit of Suplex City tonight. Oof. Oh, is he going to do a trifecta of these? Different variation of a suplex. Turning Finn Balor inside out. Finn Balor rolling out of the way after trying to go for a senton. Finn Balor now may have the upper hand. Maybe not. We'll see. Dragunov tossing him off the ropes here. Oh, goodness, referee inadvertently got in the way. That honestly helped out Finn Balor. And now Balor going to make Dragunov pay off the inadvertent referee bump, I guess, of sorts. And now Finn Balor doing his own Suplex City to Mr. Ilja Dragunov. And now Finn Balor, he's fired up. He's looking to put away Ilja Dragunov here. Here we go. Oh, goodness, okay. Thought maybe he was going to go for like a drop kick or something off that. But hey, that forearm strike did do its due diligence. And now working on the knees. Oh, goodness. The amount of pressure on the knees like that, ladies and gentlemen, that does not feel good. Now Dragunov's in trouble right now. Finn Balor has him right where he wants him. Going to go for a body slam of sorts, I believe. And Ilja Dragunov was able to slip right out of it. Dragunov with that jumping knee strike. That knee is going to be needing, or I should say that nose is going to be needing some restructure. As Dragunov now. Oh, release power bomb there. Could that be enough? dropping him on that recoil of his head, bouncing on that mat. But Finn Balor stays in the match momentarily. And now, that torpedo headbutt again, out of nowhere. That is the second time in this matchup. 2 and 3. Ilja Dragunov, a massive win tonight over a former WWE champion, a former Intercontinental champion, former United States champion, multiple time Mr. Money in the Bank. Finn Balor has lost to the European champion Ilja Dragunov. I don't know who's going to be able to stop Ilja Dragunov when he gets in a groove like that. Finn Balor kept him in this matchup way too long, and you saw how dangerous the Mad Dragon can be. Ilja Dragunov has defeated Finn Balor in the main event of Smackdown. We'll see the final moments right here. Look at this brutal power bomb here from Ilja Dragunov. It wasn't enough at that point. Dragunov would have to go one more time, picks him up here, or actually didn't pick him up. Finn Balor getting out of the way and leading to Dragunov hitting another torpedo headbutt. That was enough the second time around. The numbers game didn't come into fruition for the Judgment Day tonight. The Mad Dragon, Ilja Dragunov, with a massive win tonight in the main event of Smackdown.